preschool. Welcome to my Science Corner. This is the place where I'll be sharing many science projects with all of you, and hopefully you get to do some of these science projects at home with your families. So in your learning packets, at the very end, it talks about some of the skills we were learning at school before we had to stay home. And one of those skills was math. And within math, we were learning how to compare and measure. So I thought, why not put together a science project that has all of us compare and measure? So this project is going to have us compare how water changes shape into different containers. And then we're going to measure with a measuring cup tool I found in my kitchen. How many cups does it take to fill up this food container? Okay? So the materials you're going to need are containers. These are containers that I found around the house. So my first container is an empty pumpkin seed container. The second container is a food container. And the third container is a water bottle. I also have a towel just in case I make any spills with the water. And again, I have a cup for measuring. And for this project, we're also going to need water. So I already have one of the containers filled with water, and you can do the same. Now, before you start this project, please talk to one of your grown-ups about any water safety rules you may have at home, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our looking goggles on and observe, carefully look at the water that's already in the water bottle. So what I'm seeing about the water in the water bottle is that it fills all the way to the top. Now I notice this water bottle is very tall. So because it's very tall, the water is very deep. So deep means that from the very top to the very bottom, it goes far down. I'm noticing that this water bottle has some really funny and interesting looking shapes. It curves slightly at the bottom, and then it begins to widen, and then it curves slightly back in at the top. As the water bottle changes in shape, so does the water that's inside of it. So now I'm going to pour the water into my empty food container and notice and compare how the water changes. Here it goes. So I'm pouring the water carefully into the food container. And as I'm pouring, I'm noticing the water changes into a different shape. What shape has the water turned into? It's changed into the shape of the food container. Let's see if I can carefully lift it up without spilling the water. So with my looking glasses on, I notice that this container reminds me of a rectangle. Rectangles have two long sides and two short sides. But I know rectangles have 4 points at the corners. And this container doesn't have 4 points. It curves. Now, when I compare how the water looked from the water bottle and how it looks in the food container, I notice that the water spreads out a lot more. That's because this container is shorter and it's wider. This water bottle is taller and narrow, right? It looks thinner than this wider container. So now I'm ready to compare how the water will change into my pumpkin seed container. I'm going to carefully pour water in. Now I'm going to stop till the water reaches the top of the container. And stop. I noticed I didn't use all the water that's in the food container. So as I look at the pumpkin seed container, I notice that it takes on the shape of the container. And when I had lifted it up earlier, I noticed that the shape of the container was very similar to a square. A square has 4 sides that are the same size, but squares have 4 points on the corners. This container has 4 sides that are the same size, but their corners curve like the corners in this food container. So it's not quite a square, but it's almost like a square. Now I notice that this container is a lot shorter than these 2 containers. It's wide, it's not tall and thin like the water bottle. I wonder how far my finger will go if I put it in the water. Zoop! Didn't go very far. That's because the water's not deep. The water doesn't go very far. It's shallow. Zoop! Now that we did some comparing and looking how water can change shape based on what container you put the water in, I was wondering how many cups we will need to fill up this food container. So I'm going to quickly but carefully pour the water back into the water bottle so that we can pour it in the measuring cup and then dump it back into the into the food container, okay? Okay, I had to carefully pour the water back in, and although I was doing my best to be careful, I did spill some water, but that's why I have this towel on hand so I can wipe up any messes I make. All right, so all the water is back into the water bottle. So I am ready to pour this water into the cups and count how many cups I need to fill up this container. Okay. Here we go. This is the first cup. One. Two. Three. It took 3 cups of water to fill this food container, and it emptied out this water bottle. Wow. Well, I hope you get to do this water experiment at home, and I can't wait for you to join me again next week. Bye, preschool.